All right, so I am now joined by Jennifer Wescott, who is the chair of the Family Childcare Association of Maine. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited. Um, and Jennifer is here. She's going to walk us through how to fill out your market rate survey. And then maybe we'll chat about why it's so important.
Perfect. So we're going to start screen sharing so that people can understand that it is a simple procedure. It should take you probably about 20 minutes. You'll want to have your tax information with you. The information we're going to be entering today is all fake information, just as a disclosure. But if you have any questions, this should be the perfect walkthrough for you.
So, before you begin doing the market rate survey with us, we have created this market rate survey checklist of things you will need to make the survey process smooth and easy for you. This is available on our website at maineaeyc.org/policy-advocacy. But I will read it right now. The checklist that you will need is your most recent tax forms, your expense budget from the most recent fiscal year, the percentage of students in your program with an IEP, the percentage of your students receiving OCFS subsidies and or TANF/Aspire subsidies. So if you have that information, this process will be really smooth and easy for you. So let's watch the tutorial.
So I'm going to go right over to the email that everybody received. I'm going to click on the survey link. And if you do this sooner than later, you are eligible to win some gift cards. So scroll down. This just explains to you what they're doing and why we do it. It's for really the subsidy rates. So this is very extremely helpful for those that use subsidy. The drawings that are available, and we will
And
enter.
potentially, if the subsidy rate increases, more programs will accept.
Yeah, so essentially this is why this is a huge factor in that. So you want to fill these out for that reason. If we are showing rates that are higher, hopefully the state sees that and realizes that we are all getting underpaid through subsidy, and they can increase the rates for us, then leading for more providers and centers to hopefully join subsidy. So I'm going to click on Family Childcare.
So in this tutorial video, we are going to do two examples. We are going to start with the family child care model because that's Jennifer's area of expertise. And then we are going to go back and do the survey again as a center-based program to see the different questions that might come up. So if you just want to jump to the center-based, look down in the YouTube description below, and there will be a link that you can click on to jump right to the center-based survey.
And for this reason, I'm doing FCCAM walk through. And then I'm going to leave all this per Derek's conversation. We did have a conversation with Derek so that he knew we were essentially doing a dummy survey for this. But this is where you would essentially enter all your personal information of your license number, who you are, and your contact information.
And can you explain to folks who might not know who Derek is?
Yeah, so Derek is the man behind the surveys. So he is an analysis from Burns and Associates helping do the surveys and the analytics to all this for the state of Maine.
Okay, gotcha.
So we contacted him, explained that we wanted to do a tutorial to help providers. He thought that was a great idea and appreciated the efforts of Maine AYC and FCCAM, and said to essentially fill out one, and he'll be on the lookout for this one. So select the most common basis for this site's rate charge to private. So we'll do most due daily or weekly. I'm going to pick weekly.
So the options, just for people who are listening and not watching, are hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly charges to families. So how do you charge them?
So my rates are the same daily or weekly for me personally. I'm going to do weekly. Does this site offer part-time rates? So I would say no. I offer part-time slots, but the rate is not different than a full-time. It's the same rate no matter what. Okay, so I am going to do a different rate than I charge personally just for that information. So let's do.
So on
For
what
family childcare, I'm just going to enter all the same numbers. Some people do charge different rates for the purpose of this survey and filling out. I'm just entering the same number for each.
Yeah. So there are different categories for each kind of age group for you to enter in the different weekly rates for each age group.
Yes, we have infant, toddlers, preschool, and school age. And then I'm going to just put NA for school age and pretend I don't accept. So some people don't, so that's how you would do that. And then using the grid below, you specify your license capacity and total enrollment. So with family childcare, your license capacity is typically 12. They used to have 6. And then since I said school age, I'm going to do.
Yeah, so you put in NA if it doesn't.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that just for time and whatever I thought. And some people don't do that, so I'm going to do that. Total current enrollment. I'll say I'm entering 5. I'm entering 5 for toddlers, and I'm doing, so I do have, so for this, I'll do this for this reason, because I do have some people that do part-time, so I do have technically 13 enrolled in my program, so I will do that so that people that can know that. So I'll do 3. And then current waiting list. This is where it is crazy.
And that number
This
is
is going to be a real number just to show people for infants.
Yeah, and that number is important because it helps the state know, how many children are not being served
Yes.
in an area. So you currently on your actual wait list have 6 infants on your wait list?
Yes, and I have 4 pregnant mothers.
Wow. Okay.
So the infant one is actually kind of crazy. Yes, infants. So I did that. And to the point that I'm currently really honestly not even accepting any more people on the wait list, because I almost think that gives them a sense of hope. And I have so many people on the wait list that I just don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
To give false hope.
And so you left desired capacity blank. Oh,
I did. I did, because that for me doesn't really matter. And that might not matter to some people personally. Like the only really capacity I pay attention to that way, desired wise, is my ratios.
Okay. But it took us back. It says you have to put something.
Oh.
So should you?
Okay. Yes. So let's look at that. You do have to fill.
You put NA in all of them.
I'm just going to put NA. See, look at that. We're already learning something. So you do have to put something in. Enter a valid number.
Oh, I guess
so they won't let me. Okay, so this is okay. I'll just do 0.
Okay, yes, we're learning together. You cannot
right?
put NA on a number form.
Okay. So we'll do that since this is a dummy survey anyways, we can do that. Does the site track enrollment of children with special needs as defined in the child care subsidy? So this just explains like what special child with special needs means. A child is who, and it has some things. Is a child between 13 and 18 who is physically or mentally incapable of caring for himself, has determined been occupied by a qualified professional to be a child with a disability as defined in section 602 of the Individuals with Disabilities Act. So we'll go yes. What is the percent of enrollment children? I'm going to do 0. This next one, it takes us to reports the type of support the site delivers to children with special needs that may increase the cost of delivery. It would definitely, I would say, for things like this, it would most likely probably increase staffing, right? And maybe some
Yeah.
purchases. Does this site enroll or is willing to enroll children who receive financial? Let's do yes. I think that's a very important program that needs, and we do that. Does this site offer a place? I'm going to
Does
say
it-
no.
So this is,
So there are many facilities that either don't accept it because of the financial restraints of it, or does a limited number because budgeting wise, they can only accept a few people. I'm just going to change my thing because of the lighting.
And that's in part, people might limit because the subsidy reimbursement rate is not actually equivalent to what they're charging.
I think from everything I've learned as chair of FCCAM and talking with other providers, there isn't a county, or there is maybe one county up north of Bangor that is the market rate to typically what they charge, but everybody else is significantly a higher rate than what they receive through the subsidy program.
Okay.
So from a strictly budgeting, if you took 5 and you might be losing $300 a week with staffing or with budgeting, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Does this site enroll or is willing to receive financial from TANF and Aspire? Childcare will say yes.
Do you know what the difference is between the TANF Aspire subsidy program and the OCFS subsidy program?
So I believe, and I should know this better, that is more, right? That would be the foster care.
Okay.
Let me look that up. Sorry, I don't know if I can answer that question properly, but we're going to
That's
say yes. Select the option that best describes the site maximum enrollment for children using TAN and Aspire. I'm going to say less than 10%.
So that's the
That's for-
percentage of kids on the subsidy out of your whole population.
This next brings you to identify the days and the weeks of time of operation in which this. So I'm just going to put 7 to 5 Monday through Friday. We know that there are a lot of people that open earlier and stay open later, but 7 to 5 Monday through Friday is what we're going to go with on this.
And this is helpful data for the state so they can know if there are times that aren't being served.
Right. And there are, with subsidy, right, there's some of them that are hours. So if you drop a child off from 7 to 5, but you only get 6 hours, that also affects the day or the pay and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
I'm going to see if I don't have to enter Saturday and Sunday and see, yeah. Is this site open in all months of the year? Yes. Current, we'll go 4. Does this site hold an accreditation as the last day of the reported? No, but I actually am going for national accreditation. Hopefully the next survey I make of this, I can write I'm nationally accredited. So this says specifically which of any of these impacts the site continues to experience compared to operations prior. So this is asking about COVID. How has it affected? Some of the answers: reduced enrollment and revenue, increased expenses, challenges in hiring and retaining staff. So I would definitely say increased expenses. And I'm going to write challenges because I think that faces that's an answer for a lot of people.
Yeah, challenges hiring and retaining staff is
Right.
definitely.
Because as we know, family childcare, there are a lot of family childcares that do have staff. And that is a tough thing all around. Did this site receive ARPA childcare stabilization grants? Yes. Select the primary. So this is what did you use your grants on? And some of the things give wage and salary. staff retention, personal protective equipment, rent, mortgage, utilities, expanding capacity, which family childcare, you can only go to 12, but these are also filled out by centers. So I'm going to pick wage and benefit increases for staff, and we'll do rent, mortgage, and utilities. I bet a lot of people did that too. In the most recent fiscal year, did this site employ staff? This does not include the family childcare home provider owner. So not including me, this would ask if we have staff, and we know a lot of family childcare does. So we're going to write yes. And the table below, now they're asking you to report your full-time staff and your part-time. So full-time, I'll write 1, and part-time we'll write 1 for family childcare. Next.
And that doesn't include you as the family childcare
No.
owner. Yeah.
No. So with this in the table below, now we're going to report the hourly wages of the lowest and highest paid staff. And I'm actually going to use the career MRTQ career lattice for that. So I'm going to say we have for hourly wage of the lowest paid person, I'm going to write 16. Oh, this is full-time staff. I'm going to do 18, and we'll do part-time staff. We'll do 16. Oh, do I have to write? I don't know if that's, we'll just do that because I think we said we had 1 and 1 in this survey. Oh,
Yeah.
wrong. Let's do that and see if that works. Yep. Okay. Report the turnover rates.
And it
Okay.
explains how to calculate a turnover
Yep.
rate if you don't know how to do that. But so
Which is
that
very helpful, right, for people. And we have our, so to calculate turnover, divide the number of staff within the job title of the position during the previous fiscal year. So we will say,
so in this example, you have 2 employees and
Yep.
maybe one of them
let's say 1
left.
left.
And so that would be 50% would be the turnover rate for your small little center.
Thank you, because I'm like thinking, so I'm doing a dummy rate, so these are numbers different, but I can't help but think sometimes in my own personal program. So I was like, wait, that doesn't. And we'll just say, because I feel like so many people do have vacancies in staff, we're going to put that we have a vacancy. Okay. For the family childcare owner provider and teacher assistants, estimate the numbers of hours spent per staff on the following activities during the fiscal year. Paid training, the number of hours. So
excluding on the job training. So that would be training outside of work hours.
right. But that would be like your Maine roads to quality trainings and things like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to just say one of them will do like 30, like a typical Maine roads to quality course is 30. We'll write 30 hours a year. Curriculum development, lesson planning, let's do like, let's say an hour a week, we'll do 52. Performing Witten children's assessments, let's say half hour, we'll go 31. Holding parent teacher conferences, let's just say, people won't say problem, I'll say during the fiscal year, we'll do.
A lot of people do it twice a year.
Yeah,
so-
that's what I was trying to think. I'm like trying to, like, that's again in my own head. I'm like, how many hours do you think I do? So we'll say 4 because it is a dummy thing. So we can developing or sharing materials about other resources to parents. I feel like that's I'm going to say.
That would
8.
include things like newsletters, I imagine.
Right. Like, so actually I'm going to go that higher because that a lot of like, yeah, I'm going to do, let's say an hour a week. Planning that involves hosting. I think a lot of people do that. We'll say 20. Select each of the following benefit types. I think most people probably do paid holidays. I don't, unfortunately, think insurance is one.
No.
Vacation, paid professional development leave, and in the perfect world, right? We'll do all of those.
In an ideal world, that's what we're
Right?
working towards, right?
Report the average benefit of okay, enter the average paid holidays per year. What is there, about 10? Let's say 10 holidays a year.
yeah, I think that's pretty normal.
right?
And it says the average because you might give your full-time staff more paid holidays than your
Right,
part-time staff. So you
right,
would average that out
right.
between
And
all.
then let's just say for this one, we do 2 weeks, so that would be 10 days. Enter average, let's say they get 2 days, paid professional, let's say 2 days, right? Conferences. Do that. Okay. So for the family owned, select the type of health insurance coverage that best describes their coverage. I would say, geez, I would say either
I would say
they're typically
probably
done by
no health,
spouse
no
or
health
no health
insurance,
insurance.
spouse, or Maine care. A lot of
Maine.
early child care educators qualify for Maine care.
Let's do that one then. Oh, wait, it lets me check numerous ones. So hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah. So let's say Maine care. Report the total out-of-pocket premium for health insurance if paid in the last month.
So is that
It's
the
like
out-of-pocket
$800.
cost?
Like, what is Maine care? I don't know. And like,
Maine
what
care
would
is
you say?
free, I'm pretty
I know
sure.
what. So would you? But what would you pay for out of pocket with that one if we're going with Maine care for this?
Well, I'm curious, is this asking what the employer pays for health insurance or what the
It
employee?
says report. It doesn't. So last two ones, it specifically said what your employee benefits are and what for the owner, how describe your health insurance.
Okay.
So we said it was Maine care, and it's now says report the total out-of-pocket premium for health insurance coverage, if applicable, paid in the last month of the most recent fiscal year. So if we, for October, if we had to pay, Maine care is free, so we could put 0,
Okay, yeah.
right? Or if you had to get a prescription, right? I mean,
Yeah, maybe $20
I was gonna say healthcare
as
is
a
paying, I
copay.
feel like. We'll do 20. Okay, report. Okay, so then you would take your tax return if you have it, right? And it says total revenue for like Schedule C. And it will tell you that this is the nice thing about it. It will tell you like where to find it. So you're looking for Schedule C line 1.
So you need to have your
So you
tax
need to
form
have your
out.
tax forms out. It's funny because I did bring mine over to just ask for, check for comparison, but that's a Schedule A. So we have our taxes done by someone. So hold on.
So basically
Okay.
it's total gross revenue
Yeah.
and then the total net. So after you subtract your expenses.
Right. So it tells you where to go, Schedule C line 1. So, well, what did I say back in the other thing that we charged actually? $230?
You charged in this dummy example $230 a week per child.
So that's 11,960. So let's just go 11,960 times 12. 143.5. Okay, so that's all right. 520. And then total net, so loss in previous fiscal year, that would be on line 31. I'll just write like 30,000. I don't.
Yeah, so once you subtract the wages you pay out, the benefits you pay out, all your purchases for materials, all of that stuff, what is left in the bank.
Right. So I'm again doing dummy numbers. So I'm just doing 30,000 because it's easy math. Select the primary resource of revenue for the most risky. We'll go private pay and we'll do childcare subsidy. We'll do food program. That's another one. So some of these choices they're giving you is the child and adult food care program, fundraising, out of other state and federal holiday grants, early Head Start, Child Development Center funding from like early intervention and special ed, state preschool, the infrastructure grant program. We'll do that because I think a lot of people got that last year. Okay, so report the site's expenses for this. So cost of employee benefits and wages and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so the first line is salaries and wages paid for teachers, teaching assistants, substitutes, and additional staff.
So I'm just going to do like $50,000. Cost of employee benefits and other payroll tax. I'm just going to like literally just write stuff in because to do the math on dummy numbers, I'm not. So I'm just going to. So
Yes,
this is just where you would just like fill out staff background checks are free for family childcare through that total rent. Just pretend our rent's low and it's $1,000 a month. Food, geez, I feel like that would be a high one. Let's just do 9,000. Training expenses. Let's
say you go to the Maine AUIC conference.
Right? We'll say 100. Self-attest. Like I said, costs of Family Childcare Association, which is a great association everybody should be part of. Shared services, indirect, we'll just do administration, we'll do like 40. It adds up, I tell you.
So shared services, alliances, networks, that one would your Maine AUIC membership count?
Oh, you're correct. And for the great rate of 25, there we go. So we'll add that. And then that totals at the end. And then this is just a report space/time ratio of your home. So to explain how to do this, to calculate it, you're going to multiply the percentage of your home used for the childcare by the proportion of the weekly hours used. For example, consider a home is 1,800 square feet, of which 600 square feet is used for the childcare. During an average week, the provider delivers 50 hours of childcare and additional 5 hours administrating the childcare business for a total of 55 hours out of, so the percentage of the home used for childcare would be 30% of that.
Okay.
And we're just going to use that as an example. I'm just going to do that right there because, again, with all our numbers, it's a dummy
So
survey.
if you use 30% of the home for childcare and 32.7% of your hours in a week for work, then you multiply 30% times 32.7%. And
so in this, we're do 9.8.
Yeah, so the answer is 9.8% is your time to space ratio. I've never heard that term before. So.
I know, right? This is something a lot we do with like taxes typically too.
And so I imagine that's a question that's only on the family childcare version of this survey.
I think with some of these, when they're asking that, exactly, right? Because when you enter that you're a family childcare, that's what it gets. I think you get a specific, and we can go back and do the center one also if you want, because he said we could do it. So I could open the link again and do a center if we wanted to do that as well.
Yeah, that would probably be really helpful.
Okay, because I'll just write FCCM walkthrough for that too, and we'll do that. In the most recent fiscal year, select the forms of in-kind donations.
So in-kind donations, if you don't know, are things that people are contributing that aren't money. So if they donate books, or if they donate their time to build a shed for your program, or they donate the materials to build the shed, any kind of donations that aren't money.
And this gives us choices: volunteer, childcare, labor. I don't think a lot of people will check that. Just kidding. Volunteer assistant with business administration, like free tax prep, donations of materials, supplies, foods, free or reduced use of space for running the family childcare, or other in-kind donations or support, and they ask you to describe that. So we'll just say people have donated materials or food. I feel like families can do that, so we'll do that one. And bam, look at that.
We're all done. And
our response has been recorded. And that took us, even with explaining, not that long.
No, maybe 20 minutes.
That was great.
As long as you have your tax forms and, you know, your data ready and on hand, this is really simple and straightforward.
Absolutely. I think that'll be very helpful for people, though, because it can seem overwhelming. So if people know and are prepared for that, they can be ready. Great. So now what I can do is I can go in and we can do a center one. So I'm just gonna switch out of that so I can go back. Okay. I'm gonna start screen sharing again. And we are gonna, so you access the market rate from your survey. As you can see, it has the same beginning. And now for this license type, we are gonna select a childcare facility or childcare nursery school, center-based. And I'm going to type.
So in the contact information, you'll need your state license number,
The name of the person filling out the survey, your
and
contact
then the
information,
contact. Okay.
where you're located.
I'm trying to make a checklist in my head so we can offer that.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yes, like we could go through each page, and this is what you'll need on each page of it. So select the most common basis for the site's rates charged to a private pay family. We will do daily for this one. Does this site offer part-time rates? We'll say yes for this one.
I think a lot of centers do offer.
I think they do too. So that's okay. Report the maximum hours that qualifies a family for part-time rates.
So this is probably half for most people, I would say. So probably 5 hours a day.
So part-time daily rate, should we do 45?
Yeah.
We'll do 45 and then we'll do 55. And then typically centers go down on their rates as they get older, right? So we'll do this. And then we'll do 50 and 55. We'll do the same for the preschoolers.
And so doing this twice now, we can already see that the survey is responsive to your answers. So in the first example, you said that you charged weekly. And so the next question where you input your rates asked you for the weekly rate. This time daily is how this example charges, and it prompted us to do the daily rate. So
yes,
the survey is responding to your answers.
It's very guided, I feel like. And now as doing this second survey, because we're doing a center one, even just starting, I feel like it seems very overwhelming, but I think if you're prepared and have your numbers, it's very easy to do. School aged, we'll do 20 and I just realized, but yeah, 25. So now we're using the grid below. We're going to write license capacity and total current enrollment and desired capacity. So let's say our license capacity, we'll do 100. Make a big center.
A big center, yeah.
Okay, so what should we do? I'm like, what do centers usually?
I would say probably 40 is
40. Okay, I was like, I don't know what a centers usually. Okay, we're gonna do 40. Okay, and we'll do 10 school age. We'll just do 10, 40. Do a lot of centers have openings?
It depends. I think there are centers who are licensed.
45, and then I'm going to put desired capacity 5.
Yeah.
For some.
I think a lot of centers who are struggling to hire staff have closed down classrooms.
That's okay.
They would like to fill, but they need to hire staff first.
Okay. And then current wait list, I'm going to put, I think there's a lot of centers that have a lot of wait lists. So we're going to put 10 on this. Report the number of classrooms. So this is completely different. This is much more, you have the family-based one, and this is definitely center-based. So report the number of classrooms that accommodate children in each of the following age. So we'll say 2 infant rooms, 2 toddler rooms,
There's
two,
usually one preschool room, I find, because
okay.
the ratio
Do
is
one and
higher.
one, and then we'll do 0 for mixed age. So we have 6 classrooms just for future memory. If
Okay, yeah, for our dummy numbers.
so when we're doing our dummy numbers, we're like, does this program site track enrollment? We'll say yes. Or we said yes in the last survey, so let's say no. Let's see what that does. Does this site enroll children who receive financial support? We'll say yes. A lot of centers are great and do accept subsidy.
And
Does
so
this-
when we said no to the tracking IEP students, tracking special needs students, it skipped the question asking what percentage of our student population
Yes,
is on an IEP. So
Right.
basically it just jumped a question.
yes. And then we said, yes, it explains subsidy. In the last survey we did, I think we said that this site does not place a limit. So we're going to say this site places a limit. And we're going to say that we do 10 to 30% of total enrollment for numbers
For subsidy.
for
students.
subsidy. We're going to say no for the Aspire because we said yes in the last survey and see what that does. Select 2 reasons. Great. So select up to 2 reasons that are most closely describe why the site does not participate. I'll put I am not aware. So I think that might be one. And as we know that
Reimbursement rates are too low. I
Yep.
think that's probably what most providers will say.
I agree. So we're going to do that. And we're going to go next. Okay, centers 7 to 5:30.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard.
We'll go 7 to 5:30 for center. Monday through Friday. She might just be doing like this. They have so many different hour possibilities. So this part is extremely, I will say it seems very easy. It's very guided and very easy to fill out the survey. Is the site open in all months of the year? We'll say yes. We'll say that they are a 3-star.
That seems to be the average.
That's what I was thinking was having, does this site hold accreditation? We're gonna write yes.
We said
Actually,
no.
no, we're gonna write no because it wouldn't be a 3-star. So no, we're gonna write no. Okay, what impacts? I would say reduced enrollment, I feel like centers have had, right?
Mhm.
Increase increase expenses and challenges in hiring and retaining staff. We're gonna select all of those. Did this site receive ARPA? I'm gonna say yes. We're gonna say that. So this gives you choices of how you used it from staff retention and rent and wage. We're gonna go wage. We're gonna say investment in program quality. And we'll say, let's give the staff recruitment bonuses and retention bonuses.
I've seen that a lot on a lot of the job listings,
Right?
actually.
Okay, so now they ask us to do how many part-time and full-time individuals. So I would say what they typically have 1 director.
Mhm.
We'll do 1 part-time director, assistant director. And then
We have 6 classrooms.
we have
so
6
probably have
classrooms
at least 12 teach. Well, maybe we have 6 lead teachers
and 6 assistants.
assistants. Yeah.
All right, let's do that. And then we'll give them like 2 part-time substitutes. And maybe other staff, like someone who helps in the kitchen or office.
Yeah. One
we'll
other.
do part-time. Okay, so this is now asking what we do for wages for part-time and full-time. So again, we are just going to enter dummy number. So I'm going to say 25 for a director.
And since there's 1 director, those are going to be the same number for the lowest and highest
We have
wage.
assistant director, we'll do 22. Teachers, so teachers, again, I'm trying to like think of the career ladder in Maine Roads to Quality. So we'll
Probably
do
17 or 18, I would guess.
okay for the lowest part,
Maybe the lowest is,
and then the highest would maybe be 19.
yeah.
Okay, and then we have full-time. We'll do teacher assistants, 15.
Yeah.
to 17, we'll say.
Okay. I mean, we're just making up
Others-
numbers, so.
I am. So that's why I'm like, please nobody take offense. We are literally just doing dummy numbers. In a perfect world, those would all be like $40 to $50.
Substitutes probably make 13 to 16, I would say.
Okay. Forgot we had substitutes. And then maybe kitchen staff, 14 to 16. We'll just put in
Yeah,
office.
I have no idea because
I know, I don't either.
In a
So
center that
please
has.
just remember, people that are watching these are all just numbers. As you can see, we are just entering numbers to them. And this is acting just like the family childcare. They ask your turnover rates. I feel like that's something that centers do talk about. So let's do 70% turnover rate. If a
Yeah,
couple
so how
left.
many, we had like 12, 16, we had 18 employees on this dummy number sheet that we did. So yeah, how many of those people left?
We'll just say 70 and we'll say there's 2 vacancies.
Well, and they differentiate between teachers and teachers' assistants. So maybe.
Okay, so maybe like 54 of one left and then 70 for teacher assistants.
Yeah, maybe.
And then maybe we'll do 2 and then we filled that teacher. So we're just gonna do it like that. So we'll do 0. So for teacher staff, now you're gonna estimate the number of hours and they do teachers and teachers assistants. We're gonna do 30. We're gonna say they do a Maine Roads to Quality class. So we're gonna do 30. Let's say they do an hour and let's say they help.
Usually I feel like teachers' assistants don't help with. the
Okay, so we're gonna do
curriculum
0.
development. They like cover the lead teachers.
That makes
their
sense. We'll
planning.
say 31 and we'll say 0. Holding parent teacher conferences, we'll say 8 hours. There's a lot more kids in the center. And typically are teachers assistants there also?
I don't think so. It depends on the center, but I would put 0 for our dummy numbers.
0. Developing and sharing resources. We'll say they do like a half an hour a week. And maybe the teacher's assistants help with that every now and then. So we'll get 15. And we'll do maybe 6 and 0. Just again.
Well, I guess they're not planning the events.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like the directors so in my head, I would think, again, even as this is dummy numbers, I love that you and I are both like, let's think about how this would be. We're still trying to make this somewhat reasonable for people.
We're getting into our imaginative.
Right.
We've
We've created a big center with amazing pay, no teacher turnover. Okay, so let's say, I think some centers might offer health insurance. So let's do health insurance. It's our center. Let's make us just great benefits. So we're gonna do health insurance. We're gonna do paid holidays, paid vacation, paid six. We'll do reduced childcare rates for children and staff, and we'll do paid professional holiday. We'll leave one thing out. We're not doing tuition reimbursement. It'll break the bank for us. Okay. Report the average benefit level of each type of benefit offered to paid staff. Okay. Enter average monthly employee paid premium. Oh yeah. So now we offered health insurance.
I have no idea how much there would pay for health insurance. I know how much public schools paid of my insurance, but
okay, so we have 12. So if I put 800, I mean, it's a dummy. So we're just gonna write 800. We all know that we have.
Well, it's per employee too.
Oh God. Okay.
So you're not spending $800 a month per employee.
So let's say 100.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a lot of money. I don't know. Enter paid holidays. We'll say 8. We'll do 2 weeks vacation. So we'll do 10. We'll do 2 sick leave days. Enter average childcare rate discount. 20%?
Yeah, I was gonna say 20 or 30. So
okay, let's give 30. This is our center. Let's give it 30%. And enter, we'll do, they get a day off, they close for a conference. Report the percentage of paid employees who are enrolled in the employee paid health insurance. Oh, okay. So maybe we only have 5 employees that use it.
So 5 out of 18 is,
Yes.
let's make it 6 out of 18. So that's
6.
33%.
I love that. See,
It's
look
a
at you.
it's a percentage, not
Okay,
a,
report the total revenue received in your most fiscal. So we have 40, oh God, so are we like $300,000? I mean, I forget what we did the daily rate. I'm just gonna do, this is a dummy number, as we know. There were different rates for people, so we're gonna go $300,000. And private pay, childcare subsidies is where this says your primary sources of revenue. We get that from private pay and childcare subsidy. We'll do the infrastructure grant we got, and that's what we'll do for them. Okay. Again, dummy numbers. So I'm gonna say we pay what, $200,000 and
yeah, just put in a number at this point.
Yeah.
I can't keep track of our
I can't keep track.
imagination.
So again, everybody, these are dummy numbers. We're just cost of employee benefits, payroll taxes. We'll say third again. Staff background checks.
I think background checks cost about $50 a piece. So if you hired 4 new staff, you're going to pay $200.
Okay, bam. Total rent, property taxes. We're going to say $20,000. No, let's do 30,000. I feel like with food, we're gonna have people bring their own food to the center. Just makes it easier for this. Parents pack their lunches here at the center. Training expenses, registration fees. We're gonna say 500 to take the staff to a conference. We are not accredited program but we are working on accreditation. So we're gonna say 50 for that. Cost of curriculum, I'm gonna say $1,000 in supplies. Shared services, they're gonna be part of NACI. Let's just say 60. Indirect, we're gonna say $500, and we'll do $500 for miscellaneous. Look at that, we're even profiting.
We're profiting like $40,000. I don't know how many childcare centers are profiting at all, but
I know, right? Again, dummy numbers. All right, in-kind donations. So if we received any in-kind donations this year, whether it be volunteer childcare labor, volunteer assistant with business administration, donations of materials, other in-kind donations. So we're gonna say that maybe a parent comes in. They have a program where we have a parent come in 1 hour a month or something, and we're gonna do donations of materials or toys or all that kind of stuff. And we are done.
that's it.
So that was pretty well. That one we did in 15-20 minutes. Again, we knew what we had to do for numbers, but if you pretty much know, you need to know for a center one, salaries, basically your expenses, what you have in expenses. And if you do that, you will have a pretty easy time walking through that.
Yeah. So as long as you have a clear budget that you're tracking regularly, then you should be able to pull those numbers really quickly. That was easy.
That was easy.
I mean, we made it up, but it seems pretty easy to me.
So I'm going to stop my screen share.
Well, thank you so much for walking us through both surveys, the center-based and the family childcare. That was really helpful.
Happy to help. I think it's really important. I think a lot of providers, whether center or family childcare, might not necessarily know the purpose of them, or might think the information is not important, and they might not know what to expect and all of that, right? We now can see that it's very user-friendly for both family childcare and center-based programs. We know that it is extremely important to report accurate numbers so that subsidy, hopefully, rates increase for centers and families, or all the counties, I should say. And that if you have your information ready, 15 to 20 minutes is all it will take for you to fill out the survey.
Yeah, and so the survey comes out every year. to help kind of assess subsidy rates, is my understanding. But this year in particular, the market rate survey is extra important because the state is going through the cost modeling process. And I'm wondering if there's anything you want to share about that, because you're more involved than I am.
Yes, actually, there's a few cost modeling webinars. So originally there was going to be some at the conference. And this month, there are 2 cost modeling webinars that would be, I would highly recommend people joining and following along to get a full understanding of cost modeling and why it's important and how it helps with budgeting and market rates, and really having the state and other people have a better understanding of really how much it costs to run a quality program with quality staff for the children of Maine.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for coming and doing this with us. And I will be in touch about, joining us again. And
Absolutely. I would love to join you again.
yeah, awesome.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.